All right, I'm just going to tell you all about a hack that I did, actually with the help of Claude Code. So everyone kept telling me, you start off with ChatGPT and it's pretty good, but it can only write tiny programs. Then Gemini was supposed to be better for a while, so I tried Gemini and it wrote bigger programs successfully, but nothing really worked that well until I tried Claude Code, which has been doing fairly well. It still writes, as they say nowadays, slop, but it gets me over the activation energy problem that I had for writing this particular project. So I wrote this thing called Schmeep. Scheme. It's an Android app that just lets you run Chibi Scheme, which is a well-known version of Scheme designed for embedded systems. It's written in C, but basically this lets you run it on an Android phone and gives you a live REPL that is accessible by Bluetooth. So there's also a client written to run on Linux, basically, but it's super simple, so it should be easy to port to anything. And you can communicate with your phone live that way and evaluate expressions. It handles all the standard stuff like output from your expression in addition just to the results of evaluation, and also halting programs that run infinitely long, right? So let's see. Yeah, I used Claude Code to get me over the hump, but I rewrote every single line that it produced because I wasn't happy with it and kind of turned it from a large pile of mess to a smaller, more concise body of code. And one of the nice things about this, I was inspired by a guy who wrote this thing called Raw Draw Android, where he basically used a makefile to, and the Android NDK, and OpenGL to write raw onto the screen. So I decided not to go for OpenGL. I use a WebView, but I took his makefile and just kept rewriting until it was the tiniest possible thing. So now you don't have to use Android Studio. I think you still have to install it somewhere. So you have gigabytes of your disk used up for this thing that you don't actually end up running. But it turns, you can compile this thing in about 2 seconds on this laptop, which is not that fancy. Yeah, it's up there. I will just move to this. So I had written independently for my own use on my web server a minimal version of HTMX, which doesn't involve Scheme, and I just ported that so that now you can manipulate the web view with tiny S expressions inside attributes on the page, and it, like this. Like you just say when a click comes in, execute this expression, and actually, launch missiles in this case is a procedure that returns a procedure that takes an event as an object, so that it gets access to the click event. Yeah, so it's really a proof of concept, but if anyone would like to try it, it is up on my GitHub repo and available for anyone to try it out. And it's got tests. That was one of the nice things about using Claude. It's tested end to end across the Bluetooth link and everything. So yeah. How does it get to Scheme? So your JavaScript code calls through Rax, invokes a Java handler, which then in turn calls an NDK call into Chibi Scheme, and unwinds all the way back out. And basically, the Chibi Scheme code, given the event, returns an alias in JSON form between a CSS selector and the HTML that you want to replace that selector. That's running on the phone. That's all running on the phone. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, so the idea was to break up really small that was actually useful. So anyway, thank you all.